Bill O'Reilly and Brit Hume are going to discuss race. And who doesn't love it when old, out-of-touch conservatives try to whitesplain race relations?
Hume's Zone segment tonight, very provocative soundbite from our pal, Brit.
My sense about this is that both Eric Holder and Barack Obama have benefited politically enormously from the fact that they are African American and the first to hold the jobs that they hold. To those two men, race has been both a shield and a sword that they have used effectively to defend themselves and to attack others.
Wow. So Hume joins us from Washington. What kind of feedback do you get from that?
Well, I got some, mostly noted on Twitter. I got some people saying it was right on, it was exactly right, and I got some people saying I was a racist. They were about equally dispersed.
When they say you're a racist, is there any thought behind it, or
no? Well, a typical one is it was four white people discussing this, and therefore it was racist.
Okay.
In other words, in order to discuss this, you have to either have an African American president, but if you're just white, then discussing this is racist.
You know, it's hard. This is a tough question to pose, but if Barack Obama had been a young white senator from Illinois, I think probably Hillary Clinton would have defeated him. Is that unfair to say?
Well, I think, yeah, I agree with you, but let me just put it this way. I think that given the aspirations in this country of the overwhelming majority of Americans, that the African Americans should rise in our society, become a fuller part of our society, and be treated equally, enhance his prospects.
Listening to these guys talk about this issue is infuriating because they don't view it as an empirical question. They view it as they're just shooting the shit, shooting from the hip, just giving their opinion. Oh, yeah, I think it helps him that he's black. Oh, yeah, I totally agree. That's a good point. But wait a second. This is an empirical question. This is a mathematical question, statistical. You could look at it. You could actually look at the numbers and determine whether or not it's true or false that being black gives you an advantage. The way that you would prove that is, well, how many times has a black person gotten elected president? Okay? If the majority of the time a black person has gotten elected president, then there's an argument to be made that, yeah, okay, it's an advantage to be black. But there's only been one black president. Every other president has been white. So it's just empirically not true to say, well, obviously being black helps him. Really? How is it that one black guy being elected, that means that obviously being black is an advantage? I made this point the other day. Most of the modern presidents have been Christian, and they rub it in everybody's face that they're Christian. So what they're saying is the equivalent of if an atheist gets elected, however far down the road, and he's open about his atheism and he talks about it, they're essentially making the argument, well, obviously being an atheist means that he has an advantage getting into office. But wait, how can you say that? Well, look, the atheist got elected, so there's my evidence right there. But you're disregarding every other example. You're disregarding the majority of the people. So this is the old school, it's confirmation bias. You know what that means? You're looking for the things that already, confirm your world belief and your world view and your opinions. So you say, well, I think being black helps somebody in America. And how do you prove that? Well, look, the president now is black. So therefore, being black helps you win the presidency. But there's only been one black president. What about all the other white ones? You just disregard that. No, don't look at those. Those don't count. It's only the black one that counts. This is the only one that counts right here. It's so sad. It's like they don't know about math. It's like they don't know about statistics. You know, over 90% of the time, over 95, over 98% of the time, it's a white guy that wins. But nope, being black gives you an advantage. And then also, when he says, well, people tell me on Twitter I'm racist because it was 4 white people talking about race, so it's racist. No, that's not why it's racist. No. Because I talk about race all the time. People don't call me racist. Tom Hartman on his show talks about race all the time. People don't call him racist. David Pakman talks about it all the time. We're all white guys. We talk about race. Nobody says anything. Nobody calls us racist. Why? Because we're not fucking racist. It's how you covered the race issue. And you, Brit, immediately jump to, it's an advantage in America to be black. That's what they get the hand up every single time. It's this old conservative meme, this feeling that we have the boot on our neck. Black guys hold us down. It's that feeling from the white middle class in the South that, well, our hard-earned tax dollars are going towards these Negroes to smoke weed and eat pizza and sit on their couch all day. That's why we vote Republican. We don't like the welfare state. Except, you idiot! Number one, welfare helps majority white people, not just black people. Number two, that's a tiny percentage of the budget. Number three, the people who are really robbing you, the rich. Wall Street that takes billions of dollars in bailout money and then pays bonuses to the people that bankrupted their companies. You know, the rich are robbing you, whether it's the military-industrial complex, whether it's corporate subsidies, which are unnecessary, but they get them anyway, whether it's Wall Street bailouts. All the rich people are the ones that are stealing your money when they rig the tax code so that Mitt Romney only pays 15% on capital gains tax because he makes money from investing as opposed to working. Meanwhile, if you work with your hands for a living and you make 45 grand, you pay a higher percentage than Mitt Romney. They are the ones that are stealing from you. But you have bought into this ridiculous idea that you are supposed to be against black people because, they take our money, man. They take our money from welfare. Being black is an advantage in America. Look, they ain't got the presidency, man. And that's what Brit Hume is feeding into. That's why it's racist. Not because it's four white people talking about race, but because it's four white people talking about race in a racist way. That's why it's racist. And then finally, look at O'Reilly. I would venture to say that if Barack Obama was white, he would have lost. You do know that in the final total, Obama crushed Hillary, right? That she stayed in the race like a month longer than she should have because it's mathematically impossible for her to win. I remember talking about that. That was when Secular Talk YouTube channel first got going. That was one of the early videos that we did where I spoke about how Hillary's going to drop out of the race. She's done. She's done. But the idea that Hillary would have been unbeatable if there just wasn't a black guy in the race, obviously Hillary would have won. What the fuck are you talking about? America didn't just vote for Barack Obama because he's black. In fact, it was probably not a consideration at all. In fact, I think it works the opposite way. If you look at the plethora of the evidence throughout American history, people usually look at African-American candidates or even African-Americans in the business world. They're looking for that confirmation bias, for the thing where they can go, oh, you know how they are. Oh, you saw how he acted? You saw when he got mad at Jeff in the office? You saw when he kind of had that thug tone in his voice? You know what I'm talking about. You saw how he acted there? You know, you saw when he started, when he was, talking in slang that made us all feel uncomfortable that day. You remember that? Oh, you remember when he wasn't sufficiently mainstream enough, if you know what I'm saying. He wasn't acting white enough for our tastes.